All right, my loves, I promised a video about talking about curses and curse removal. Here it is. My name's Colleen. I'm the Healing Visionary, if you don't know me yet. This is my area of expertise, is healing the dark side, helping people with their heavy lifting, shadow work, reprogramming the subconscious, and removing all old wounds, old stories, so that you can live in your highest frequency and be on the move in your best destiny. So I posted earlier from a friend who just left after a week-long surprise visit out of necessity because she got dumped by a guy, came to my house, and left putting a curse on me. This has to be dealt with on several different ways, several different methods, and I want to share those with you. What you can do, what I did, and what you can do. I mean, depending on your level of training, well, you would already know what to do. But let's say you haven't been trained on curses and curse removal, and this is something that no one is really able to talk about. I messaged several people after that about, because they knew I was struggling with this visit, and they were also kind of coaching me to ask her to leave, take care of yourself, quit being walked all over and so forth. So anyway, that video is on TikTok if you're interested. I only put it there because it isn't necessarily about healing, but I was able to transmute two major issues. One was my wanting to please everyone, not being able to deal with upsetting people. And the other one was a more deeply rooted subconscious belief around jealousy and feeling like not enough. Other people had more success or more luck or more contacts than me, and so I was able to reprogram that too. Now let's get back to the curse topic. This is what you do when you break up with a friend and they get really angry and they put a curse on you. And what happened, this came through a text message after she had left my home. Then it came, and people do this all the time. You might not even receive it in a text message. They'll throw daggers at your back. Okay, these are called psychic attacks, and they happen constantly, especially at work, with colleagues, bosses, whoever it is you work with. They can definitely psychically attack you. So the first thing, I've got my table here, some different things. First thing you want to do is a salt bath. If you don't have a bathtub, you can do a salt shower scrub, and that is to just take a jar of pink Himalayan salt or sea salt, okay, not Epsom salts. The natural sea salts are ideal, and put olive oil in here and stir it up, and you have automatic scrub. If you're in the bathtub, it's easy, because all you need to do is put 2 handfuls of the salt into the bath. Soak for 15 minutes, not longer. That will remove all the negative energy without reabsorbing it, okay? Same in the shower. I don't think you're going to stand there for 15 minutes with the salt, but leave it on long enough to absorb the negativity and wash it down the drain. Next thing you want to do is go to your crystal grid. And I have a video on this where you can put, now this is important, you put love into your crystal grid for yourself, for your own life. All this is for you. There is absolutely no focusing on what was said in the curse or unsaid that you didn't hear, because sometimes it's just a psychic attack and you don't even know if anything was specifically said. It was just bad intentional thoughts. So into the crystal grid, I'll just give a quick review, but look for that video. You take the charging crystal and you're moving up and down in the grid. So you want to put in each concept 3 times for yourself, for your own life. So the first one is love. Love, love, love. Peace, peace, peace. Joy, joy, joy. Kindness, kindness, kindness. And grace, grace, grace. And then close it. That was a quick version. You can watch the video for more on that, but you want to empower those good characteristics into your own life. And with the other person, you simply think in your mind on repeat, I release you to your own destiny. I release you to your own destiny. I release you to your own destiny. Don't send love. Don't send kindness. Send nothing. Release to their own destiny. Next thing you can do is a little fire ceremony. So light a candle or whatever kind of little fireplace or fire pit that you have in your house. And you want to take some branches, small ones, and we're going to, this is a ritual practice that is able to reach the subconscious. So you're going to blow into the stick the horrible, terrible feelings you have, whatever was said, okay? Some of the things she said were really, really damaging. So it starts out sweetly. Many curses start like that. Milk at the tip of the blessing. Blood at the tip of the curse. So it starts out as a false blessing with a little milk and honey. Thank you for your American hospitality. I hope you will find someone in your life, she says. It's sad that you're alone. So she's making fun of me for being single. And then calls me a lesbian. Okay, that's not an insult. However, I'm not. And, you got to remember where people are from. She's from a country where it's literally illegal to be gay or lesbian. All right, so context is everything. Now, I have been living around the world for 20 years, and I guess I never learned to be more cautious. Well, now I am, because this has happened too many times. Literally every country I've lived in, I've always made local friends and wanted to do that, to learn about life everywhere and have a good time, not only with other foreigner expats, which is fun and a lot easier, but I also venture out into some local friendships. So anyway, she was my massage therapist, and she was goofy and funny, and we became friends. And then, anyway, she came, you can watch the video on that story. She came to where I am in the next country. Once it goes bad, they're, into frenemy zone, the curses start coming. Suddenly, they'll pull out all kinds of cards like, you've now insulted the entire continent or the entire country of wherever it is you're in. You're some other sexuality slur. It's just a very base human level of frequency, just like reptilian mind frequency. And it still hurts, and it's to hear it or see it. However, you got to get it out. So this is the way. You take a stick and you blow in how hurt you feel for that insult. Blow that in here. So whatever you're upset about, do this as soon as possible. Get a small twig, blow in the thing that you're upset about, especially if it's also a breakup. Relationship breakups are horrible, and I've received plenty of curses around them too. So from men in these foreign countries, generally, they always revert back to their folk magic. And it's super annoying because it's real. And guess what? It's pretty sharp. So get this stick, blow it in, one thing at a time. What upset you? What is hurting you inside? And blow it in. The subconscious can understand this. Last time I showed fire, I got banned from TikTok. It's okay, so I have to cut that out, cut that part out. Anyway, burn your twig in the fire. This is what reaches the subconscious, is actually removing, burning, literally burning that feeling, that bad, icky inside feeling away. It's now been burned in the flame. And then you just put it aside. Throw it away. All right. Next thing we do is come to the altar, wherever you have your altar set up. The next thing you must do is give yourself a blessing ceremony. Now I'm here in front of one of my altars. I have a couple different ones for different reasons, but this is where I do the blessing ceremonies. And I'm just going to share with you what I do as an idea for you to adopt. But the basic gist of it is you want to create a ritualistic ceremonial experience to put yourself into this higher frequency and to envelop and wrap yourself in these blessings and in the high frequency. It will immediately lift your mood and you will feel so much better. So I'm going to do that now for everyone who found this video. You are probably suffering from a curse or ill intentions or a psychic attack from another human being that has deeply hurt you, and it might be having been sitting inside of you for a long time. So I will now do a short blessing ceremony. Please take the concept and use it for yourself. Write it for your own self from your heart, okay? And I'll just give you the basic armature. You want to open the 4 directions, which I've already done. So you open the south, west, north, east, and it's actually 6 because you have earth and sky. Your real true mother, Mother Earth, Pachamama, Mama Gaia, and the real true sun, the central sun, the sun behind the sun, your real true father. Okay, you need to light a candle and get whatever the sacred herbs are from your land, from your local place. Here it's juniper, so I use the juniper, and you can also have some offering cups. Make a small plate of food, or you can have 4 separate cups. Just show you mine. I have some nuts. You want to have nuts and fruit. You want to have some high quality alcohol, usually vodka. Here, wine is the big thing, so I have a white wine. Any kind of special dairy, and your candies or chocolates, some sweets. Now, the framework is you want to begin with the sky. So we use all the different elements, ancestors, fire, some different archetypes. Okay, so I will break it down for you, and what are the essential parts for you to use. Oh, eternal blue sky Father, the sun, the central sun behind the sun, calling you, inviting you into this sacred space, into my blessing ceremony, under the 2 radiant suns of day and night, greeting and welcome you. And then repeat some little sound 3 times, like in the Peruvian tradition, it's hampwe, 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 hampwe. In this other tradition, it's shug, 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 shug. So, or you can make a kissing sound, which I find awkward. I don't do that one. Or just make some little calling invocation, some short calling. Sometimes you might play a little whistle, tin whistle, or a lulling tune, or a rattling to call them in. And then we go to the stars, to the Big Dipper. These are the archetype of the 7 grandfathers who are lords of our world. And then to your mother and father, and offer that in the direction where you come from. And then you go to your ancestors, heavenly beings who come with resounding presence. And then we want to also do the wrathful beings who are in the earth and in the elements that are not very helpful for humans, but we still honor them and call them into the blessing ceremony anyway, because they can be good protectors. So the wrathful black tengers, the heroic white tengers, I'm calling you. Humpway, humpway, humpway. Rattle, rattle, rattle. The great earth mother, Mama Gaia, Pachamama, who gave me form. And to the water spirits, those who have been here for thousands of years, preserving the memory of the earth and her galactic history. Then we go to the mountains and mountain spirits, to the Apus, lords of the mountains, those star beings. And then we go to the hidden ones, beings with hidden faces, whose eyes cannot be seen, dwellers in caves and deeply set homes, beings who dwell in plants and trees, lords of the deep forested world, and black and white Naga kings, who are lords of the mountains and rivers. Humpway, humpway, humpway. I call on you to join in this sacred space, in this blessing ceremony. And to the fire spirit, the spirit of fire, whose warm embrace brings joy to all mankind, shining with your brilliant splendor, guardian of the household, and your inner chi or ki, life force energy, protector of bloodlines. I call you, I invite you, I welcome you into this sacred blessing ceremony. And now you go to your offering bowls. I offer you the purest of the untouched milk. Ideally, you would have milk. I don't drink milk. And you take the twigs and throw this milk, spray it all around. Just little droplets, nothing you're gonna have to clean up. And the blue-green juniper smoke spreading. So whatever incense you have, light that. I can't show you or my video will be rejected. Send that up. Please accept these offerings to all of you, not omitting any. Please share it evenly. You who guard the lifespan, please guard your children of the sunny world. Well, if you're making it for yourself, you would say me. Please guard me, your child of the sunny world. But since I'm giving this out to all of you, I put it to your. Please guard your children of the sunny world and bless them with health and prosperity, guarding them from sickness. Be the medicine when they are sick. Be the food when they are hungry. Be the light in the dark. Guide them when they are lost. Guard from enemies seen and unseen. Turn black into white. Please let their aspirations be fulfilled without difficulty. And that is it. And then you can close it. You can say, aho, clap, some forceful, la alam, al mean, amin, any whatever form of closing, and so it is. And that is it. So if you want to take that armature, that structure, and design it from your own heartfelt ideas, that's good. Let me just do one more for everyone. I just put on my couple ritual items. So you definitely want to have ritual clothing that you wear only for these occasions. In some traditions, you need to also cover your head, so consider that if that is part of your lineage. How does that feel? Do you need a hat? Do you need to cover your head? Anything like that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Oh, eternal blue sky Father, the sacred sun, the central sun behind the sun, I'm calling on you to enter into this sacred space, into this blessing ceremony for all those who are feeling hurt inside and need help with their life, who have had a psychic attack or some ill wishes on them. Here we are under the two radiant suns of day and night. I greet you. I welcome you. And the seven grandfathers of the Ursa Major, Big Dipper, lords of our world, and to my own father and mother Tenger, where I come from, and my ancestors, heavenly beings who come with resounding presence, and to the wrathful black Tengers, the heroic white Tengers, I'm calling all of you. And to the great Earth Mother, Gaia, Pachamama, who gave all of us form. And to the water spirits, those ancient beings who have been here throughout all time, holding the galactic memories of this earth. And to the lords of the mountains, to the great Apu, mountain spirits, star beings, and to the beings with faces hidden, whose eyes cannot be seen, dwellers in caves and deeply set homes, beings who dwell in plants and trees, lords of the deep forested world, black and white Naga kings, who are lords of mountains and rivers. Calling all of you into the blessing ceremony. And to the spirit of the fire, Galakai, whose warm embrace brings joy to all mankind, shining with your brilliant splendor, guardian of the household, protector of bloodlines. I call you, I invite you, I welcome you. I offer you the purest, untouched milk. And this is where you spread it around over the altar. And to the blue-green juniper smoke, spreading to the highest heavens. Please accept these offerings to all of you, not omitting any. Please share it evenly. And I also disperse some of the vodka. You who guard life and lifespan, please guard your children of the sunny world and bless them with health and prosperity, guarding them from sickness, being the medicine when they are sick, being the food when they are hungry, be the light in the dark, guide them when they feel lost, guard them from enemies, seen and unseen, call friends and turn away foes, turn black into white. Please let their aspirations be fulfilled with ease and flow. And so it is. All right, and then you can close the 4 directions plus earth and sky. You just thank them. May they rest to the south, west, north, east, below, above. May you all rest. Close that down. Turn out the candle, never with your breath. Always pinch it or find a snuff out. And now I would like to talk a little bit in detail about the types of curses and how they happen. So with that blessing ceremony, after you've done the salt bath, you've charged your positive intentions into your crystal grid, you had the ritual fire ceremony to blow out the bad feelings, and now you gave yourself a blessing ceremony. So you should be feeling really good and not worried. The only other thing left to do after this is to get really strong psychic protection, energy protection. Now, I have received that from my lineage training. I have what are called the bands of protection, bands of power, and nothing gets through them. Everything bounces off, and they're in a whole system, which I have installed on many of my clients, especially if you do work in the spiritual world or are a light worker. This form of protection is extremely effective. And even some other people who are visual, can see auras and stuff, have seen the bands. They can see them. The other is the Merkaba. So I do both. I have the bands of protection first on for years. You have to exercise them regularly, and then intermittently, then they're more permanently on. And then the Merkaba I activate every day, because we're in a transition time right now, and I want to be ready whenever that is, and to keep raising my frequency. So when people curse us, it's really because they just don't understand at all who you are. Whatever was said is completely misaligned with the truth. I want to share with you some basic curse information. So I'm reading from my notes. There are many different kinds of curses. But basically, you could have a celestial curse, something that came from above or controlled by the entire natural world and universe. And that includes nagas and spirits. Or you can have something from nature, like fairies or wood sprites or magnetic waves or strong energy currents. Can also, a water vein, something like that, can be harmful to living creatures. And then there's the human type of curse. And this is what I'm going to go into detail with. These are caused by the power of dark mind. The dark mind of the humans. The venom of cursing with hate or anger. So that's what happens. People get quickly angered. They feel hurt. You feel hurt. You leave and upset with one another. And this is what the dark mind does. The ego mind. The ego doesn't care if it hurts anyone. Whereas if you are living from the heart, you would never do that in the first place. There's a big difference. Easily happens. The people will go directly back to the reptilian brain, the ego mind, and put a curse on you. And you really didn't understand each other in the first place. It's just so easy for these miscommunications and total misunderstanding to happen. And so the words have magic. Just like Merlin and his abracadabra. What you speak is. So the word is the curse itself, whether it was thought, whether it was typed in a text or said out loud. All of it affects, all of it takes effect. It's the whole thing is a vibration. The evil of the object used by the human, the power of intentional mantras. Mantras can go both ways too. They can be used for healing and harm. The power of, this is sorcery, people. This is modern day sorcery, and it still goes on. And in the evil eye, that's another facet of this. In addition to the effects of spitting finger gestures, sand, salt, alcohol, which all can cause curses from a long distance. So I had that happen. Okay, story time. I was in eastern Turkey on the edge of Syria, which according to U.S. travel advisories, you're not supposed to go. I go anyway. Well, I was living in Turkey, so it didn't matter. To me, it wasn't scary. It was fine. I wanted to go to Göbekli Tepe. That's where I do channeling and activations. And so I went, and it was my first time there. And I ended up staying in this little guest house in the middle of a village. I didn't realize it was in the middle of a Syrian ghetto. So a lot of Syrian refugees who had moved just a few meters across the border into this neighborhood in Sanli in Turkey. So I was walking back. It was up the hill from the archaeological museum, and I was coming back from the archaeological museum. It's winter. I had on wool wrap thing, not really a coat even, and some boots, and but I look Western. I definitely look foreign. Wasn't fancy, but when I passed this old lady who was just hanging out by a wall in front of some cars, I felt her looking at me for sure, and just kept looking straight and kept walking up the hill back to my whatever B&B place. And as soon as I passed her, what overcame me was a swirling dizziness, an instant kind of vertigo. But I kept walking, and intuitively I knew it was her. She had done some finger flicking or something like that into my back, and that's how curses come. So the curse will often come through your back. So the way to remove it, you've got to shoot it out your back also. And that's what I did. And I didn't let her see, because I remember hearing from myself, I just want to hold on to a tree. Let me just stop for a minute. And it was my higher self kept saying, no, keep walking. It'll be gone in a minute. And shoot it out your back. Remember the curse removal. So I did. And right back, return to sender. Within the next corner, like a couple more steps, I was fine. And the vertigo was gone. And I told a friend later on, after I got back to Istanbul where I was living, and she had been living in Turkey for some 20 years, and said, yes, that was the evil eye curse. It's very common in that part of the world. And she had it once, but she had to have it professionally removed. So good thing I knew how to do this curse work and got rid of it. That was before I had the bands of protection. That was also way before I had started activating my Merkaba. Nowadays, I don't think any of that would happen. I also carry porcupine quills in my phone, in the case of my phone, because that's another folk magic ritual tradition. 9 porcupine quills. either above the door of your home or carry it somewhere on your person, somewhere that you're going to have all of the time. And all of those are different ways to add more layers and layers and layers of protection. So, what exactly is a curse? It's like a radio battery that's heavily connected to a current, electric, energy. Curses and harms enter the flesh, blood, and bones through currents, spaces, and spirits. As they progress, the blood, relatives, others, bones, the curse runs through genetically. It just depends on the intention of the curse, of the sorcerer. And some of these can have happened way back in history from other generations. For example, if you start seeing your family is dying out right now, I'm actually living proof of this. In my current generation, nobody out of all the grandchildren has had any children. And now we are all old enough that even to the age where we're probably not going to have children. Many of us can't have children anymore. And the other ones haven't had any children and they're not going to. And they may have inherited children through who they married. So that was very interesting. And there's definitely a curse going on in my family from that into my mother's line. And there is a lot of alcoholism, strong emotional abuse, and issues like that have been ongoing generation after generation. Now, some of the people didn't receive that, like my grandmother. She wasn't raised with any of that. So it's running through the father line in the mother line, if you follow me. And I know that it happened either 7 or 9 generations ago, and they were all from Ireland. And a lot of curses went on there, still do. Believe it or not, out there on the West Coast where my mother and father live, there was a pub we used to go to where the woman was locked in the attic only a couple of years ago. She finally died. The men were locking their wives in the attic even recently and calling them crazy, away with the fairies, and all these kinds of concepts. Well, do your research on Bridgie Cleary and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Fascinating stuff. All right. So it's because really it boils down to women's rights and women being intuitive and men wanting to go with other women and lock away the wife, call her crazy, and she isn't. Or in the case of Bridgie Cleary, she was very independent, didn't want to have children, and for some strange reason fell into a kind of a depression. Maybe she was being oppressed by her husband. We don't really know, but it ended in her tragic death, where he threw her in the fireplace. This is all documented in a wonderful research book about Bridget Cleary. If you're interested, look that up. So it's in a lot of cultures. Every culture, I would say, absolutely everywhere on the planet, these things exist and they go by different names. You will have heard childhood stories about all kinds of these kind of curses or harm that can happen even to cattle and farmers, to land, to entire families. So I am living proof right now that I am either the 7th or the 9th generation down from that original curse that happened back in Ireland on my grandfather and running through that family line. And in fact, one of his, they still had success though in life. Many of the times they will also cause poverty and ill effects altogether. But it seems like this curse was emotional abuse and just very low abilities with the alcoholism. And one guy, grandfather's brother, became a mayor when they moved to the US, and he died by a freak automobile accident, and they didn't have any kids. So it just went on like that. It'll be these freak accidents with enough people so that by the time the 7th or 9th generation arrives, all those people don't have children. All right. This fascinates me. I don't think it's scary at all. So if you're getting scared, you might want to turn it around in your thinking and just realize that this is a reality, part of life, and we don't want to live. Bottom line, we don't want to live in that baseline reptilian mindset of very low frequency, okay? This is why you need protection against friends that decide to go sideways, bosses, coworkers, whoever it is, you've offended or stepped on their toe in the grocery store. Who knows what it is, okay? Psychic attacks from people can happen everywhere. And keep your frequency high. But just because you're living in a higher frequency does not mean these things don't happen. You might not even realize it, and therefore you want to activate all of your modalities, all of your tools for keeping yourself and your frequency in living from the heart. And this is the key meaning of my video today, is that living in the heart, and I don't mean heart chakra, I'm talking about the tiny place in the heart where you take your eyes out of your brain, disconnect them from your brain head, move them down your neck, so you're looking out your neck, move them down and a little bit to the right, and you come with that bead of consciousness behind the heart, and then you'll start feeling a vortex, and you'll see a little light, and you want to go toward that vortex and that into that tiny place in the heart. It's a little vortex inside the heart, and it'll, once you start approaching it from behind, it'll just swoop, it'll just vacuum you right in, and then you will be in there, and you can look out from there. It's very dark, so you want to say, turn on the lights, let me see what's here, and then in your meditation, look around. And this is realistically where we try and live every moment of every day in that kind of walking meditation, in that kind of living from the heart, where you don't ever have any ego mind to curse people or even get angry, really. You will be able to see the beauty and love you have for all of life. And if they do something you don't like, you know how to advocate for yourself. Like I asked my friend to leave. I need to take care of myself. And you are not here. You are running around with this other guy in a love affair and using me like a hotel. So it's time to go. And that isn't judgmental. It's neither good nor bad. And this is when you're living from the heart. These things are really genuinely positive and non-confrontational. And so it's tricky because we can't just stop all contact and communication with other people. That is not the answer either. And even with as much communication as you try to do, like I tried to with this visitor that came for a week, still didn't work very well. Still didn't work out. And then that's another cautionary tale, my friends. be more cautious. If you know someone is a low vibrating, low frequency person, don't engage with them. I should never have had her come here in the first place, knowing that she is totally flaky and I didn't trust her back in that country, and why should I have let her into my life? Knowing that she often has quarrels like this with her friends and they're constantly dropping in out of her life. And I knew that, but didn't think it would be me. So I'm going to be a lot more cautious in the future. Many blessings, my friends. I hope you found this helpful. If you'd like to have the bands of power installed, please give me a call. I can also offer a Siberian stone divination to see what's really ticking beneath the surface of your life, and I can install those bands of power for you. I also offer one-on-one deep shamanic healing sessions, which you can see in the testimonials on my site, have been very powerful and effective for everyone who's found me. So I am here in service to help everybody who's ready to do their inner work and the heavy lifting of those deeply set shadows that are very hard to see, very hard to reach, and remove them. So give me a call if you're ready for a one-to-one call. I offer a free 10-minute call, or book a session for adding the bands of power.